I don't want to say that Mario and Luigi Brothership was necessarily overshadowed by the other big reveals in the Direct, but I do know that just like personally, you know, Metroid Prime 4 reveal, real trailer, gameplay and everything, and then new 2D Zelda and starring Zelda, that's a double whammy right there. So like those two things are taking up so much of my mind that I keep then remembering, oh man, oh my gosh, new Mario and Luigi too. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like they gave us so much that like my brain is having a hard time holding on to it all. I just keep remembering over and over again. We also got the reveal for an incredible new Mario and Luigi game. And so now I'm very, very happy to finally sit down and talk about it because there really is so much to talk about. Obviously, the fact that we're getting a new Mario and Luigi is really great. I was never in the school of thought. I was never in the camp that believed Mario and Luigi might never come back because Alpha Dream went under. Nintendo still owned the IP. There was once a time when they produced a lot of these games very fast, so they clearly like the series. So I knew it would come back eventually, but it is completely true that like finally seeing it with my own two eyes and knowing for sure that it is still a thing, that still feels very, very good. And obviously just because I like the series and I want to play a new one, so that is just a good thing in and of itself. Hey, we're getting a new Mario and Luigi game. Oh, I love Mario and Luigi games. So that's great. Here's the thing though, it's not just new. It's not just a new Mario and Luigi game. It's not just the next Mario and Luigi game, and it's not just the first home console Mario and Luigi game, the first one to transition fully into a fully 3D game. It's not just all of those things. It's also perfect. It's also perfect. It is also, I would say, one of those very rare game reveals where a series has kind of a long history and the games have kind of shifted over the years. You know, they kind of come in different styles in terms of like, you know, gameplay and story and all those things. So you never really know what the new game is going to be like. How often do you get a reveal for a new game in a long time series and you can confidently say, that's perfect. It's everything about it is perfect. Everything about this is everything that I could want it to be. That's decently rare. Even for really big, important games, even for games I'm really, really excited about, it's rare for everything to line up perfectly, just to a T. And that's what I feel about this this trailer, the way that the game is shaping up. Visually, this is everything that I could want from a 3D Mario and Luigi, because that's a really big step. The art on all of the other games, really incredibly charming. You know, the original one and then the DS ones, they had this really, really cute and interesting pixel art. The worlds were super duper interesting. And then you move over to the 3DS ones and, you know, the graphical fidelity is a little bit higher. You're mixing in 3D environments, but the sprites are still kind of sprites. They're not like pixely. They are still like, I do believe they are still two-dimensional sprites, but there's a little bit more detail to them, and especially when combined with the 3D effect, that took on kind of a new and unique style, at least for the character sprites. It still looked really good in its own way. So like transitioning into fully 3D animated characters, that's a big thing. That's a really big thing. How exactly do you translate that? Especially these games, especially with their very unique visual styles and very expressive characters, how do you accomplish that? And what I'm seeing here is that they just did it. They just did it perfectly. Visually, it's everything I could want from a 3D Mario and Luigi. It looks perfect. It perfectly encapsulates the charm and the fun and the expressiveness of the other games. If there's like one teeny tiny thing I'm a little bit more unsure of, I'm just like, as a person, not a big fan of like cell shading with like with the black outline around everything. I don't even really have like a reason. It's just kind of like a thing that like, I'm not like a super big fan of that. However, I can also see that that probably just does fit this really well. So like I can get it. It really does go along with the theme and the cartoony expressiveness and such. It makes sense. But everything else, and really, even just the very beginning of the trailer, you can tell it's Mario and Luigi. I mean, like, in part because the Mario and Luigi versions of Mario and Luigi, slightly confusing, they do have, like, kind of a certain element to them. I think it's kind of, like, in the eyes, and you can see that from the beginning of the trailer. But I think it's more than that. I think it's also, it's a bit more subtle. There's just, it's a certain expressiveness that you don't really see in other Mario games. Mario and Luigi are generally very, like, they can be expressive, especially, like, you know, you look at Luigi in a Luigi's Mansion game or something. He is expressive, but, like, there's kind of a concreteness to the characters that Nintendo doesn't really like to play with much. They went kind of a long time wanting these characters to not really deviate from that model, you know, that character model. And you can animate it, but you can't stretch it in interesting ways to create these expressions. And that was one reason Super Mario Bros. Wonder was a big deal, because they were stylized for the first time in a really long time. And that's what you get here, because that's what you get in all of the other Mario and Luigi games. There's just a certain amount of stylization that you can see in just the opening moments of the trailer. And I love that. I love how easy it is to identify, because the expressiveness and the creativity throughout the trailer, it's all just incredible. It's the facial expressions, it's the animations, it's the setting. It's just like the weird setting, you know, just like visually, it's very colorful, and you're on these islands with all these weird characters, and you're using cannons to blast between the islands. It's just, it's so much fun. And it's not just a Mario and Luigi game in 3D. Obviously, they're leaning into that. They're saying, what can we do with 3D that we could not do before? So now they're incorporating these kinds of, like, crazy little animated sequences, the kind that you normally get in, like, Mario sports games, you know, where, like, the camera, it completely changes, you know, and it shows Mario and he's winding up to do a big, crazy Koopa shell kick, like that kind of thing. They're really leaning into that and using that to kind of uplift the whole thing. They're really injecting that new kind of style into the experience in a way that they could not quite do before. It's not just 3D because it's new and it's on the Switch, so it's gotta be 3D. Like, no, they are going with it. This is the first 3D Mario and Luigi game, and they're going all out. And watching those bros moves, the moves where they you know, you get all the button timings and they're doing all this stuff, you know, Luigi is like hitting Mario's hammer, so then it's flying over there. Like, I keep watching this trailer over and over again because just of how fluidly they're animated, and it just, I'm not even playing it, and yet I can just feel how good it's gonna feel to perform these moves because of that visual oomph, that plasticky, bendy, cartoonish, expressive. I know I keep going on about the expressiveness, but that's really what it is. And seeing that in a 3D game where it's, again, it's not just a sturdy, inflexible 3D model being animated at the joints. It's like they're alive, they're organic. It's like watching a cell animated cartoon, you know? And then, like, mechanically, this game looks like an absolute return to form. I mean, you know, each of the Mario and Luigi games, they've all tried to have, like, kind of a new gimmick, a new idea, revolving around characters being used in different ways. And this is kind of cool, but it does kind of feel like some of the later games, they started just kind of drifting away from what made the first couple games, especially the first game, really good. This is an absolute return to form. This is a much sharper focus on the brothers. You know, not switching back and forth between the brothers and Bowser or going into Dream World or whatever. It's really just Mario and Luigi, and they're abilities, them working as a team, the ways that they jump and use their hammers and the way that they do things together. We see a whole bunch of different moves, ways to move through the environment. It looks more like the original Mario and Luigi than any Mario and Luigi we have gotten since. And I have not played all of the games, but from what I have played, I definitely liked the first game the most. That sharper focus on the brothers. And that's what this is, and that is very, very exciting. And then, of course, conceptually, like, do I even need to say it? The creativity, and it goes along with what I was saying about the art style. The fact that you're clearly not in the Mushroom Kingdom. This is not another retread. This is not another vanilla Mario. They're in some new place, some new strange land, completely surrounded with new weirdo people and characters who have names, clearly, from races that we have never seen before, which again was a lot like the first Mario and Luigi. It's weird places, it's weird races, it's weird characters, everything is just weird. It's the exact opposite of what we've been seeing from Mario's RPGs for years, and Nintendo had all of those, all the rules about the creative limitations, and this is another piece of evidence suggesting that Nintendo is leaving that behind, and they're going back to what made Mario RPGs so good in the first place. It's weirdness, it's creativity, it's seeing Mario and his friends in situations that we have not seen them in before. I think that's a really big thing that Nintendo kind of forgot, is that it's fun to take a familiar character and put them in a location and surround them with things that we've never seen before. And here, you have all the new characters, but then also every time they're in battle, you see a bunch of weird new baddies, completely unrecognizable baddies. And that itself is just like, thank you. I don't want to just jump on another Goomba. I don't want to just find a way to get around another Bullet Bill. You know, like, they'll probably be there, but regular baddies, they are in the game somewhere. You only see them in like one shot of Bowser, and you also get a shot of Peach, but she's with a bunch of new characters. So like, we see that Bowser and Peach, they are part of the story, which is great, because when you're in this new place surrounded by new things and new people, I want to see the characters that I like and just what they're going to do in this place, how they interact. So, they're clearly at least part of the story, but they might not necessarily be the story. It does seem like there is what looks like a new villain. We don't know how they'll play in. Maybe it'll just be the same thing all over again, where in the end Bowser ends up fusing with the bad guy, and then Bowser is still the last boss. I hope not. But I still like that they are here, but they're not the main focus. The main focus is on things that are new and weird. I also should mention how, all of this seems to take place on a series of islands, and then in the final shot, and of course on the box art, you can see them on this really cool ship, and like, it's clearly an island, but like, it's in the shape of a ship, and they're sailing around on it. What an incredibly cool idea. So obviously there's going to be some sort of sailing kind of thing, maybe not like Wind Waker style, like manually steering sailing, but like, there's going to be a ship. They're going to be sailing around. That's just an amazing aesthetic. That's something I always love. I love ships. I love sailing. I love the ocean. I love the idea of traveling between islands. It's just a very, very cool thing. So that's another cool concept, idea, mechanic that I can, that already resonates with me, that I can look forward to enjoying in the game when it finally comes out. That's clearly an entire aspect of the game that this first trailer does not even touch. It doesn't even touch the full game. You can tell. You can kind of tell from this trailer. This is just a taste of the game, and yet I am already so enamored with it. I'm already so satisfied by this trailer. I already feel like it's perfect. I already feel like in every single way possible, this is a complete return to form, back to the basics, back to what made Mario and Luigi great in the first place. The perfect home console 3D Mario and Luigi game. Everything I could want it to be. And based on what I'm seeing from other people, I've not like gone like digging. I'm not like taking part in really big, long Reddit discussions or anything. But at least at a glance, from what I've seen, it seems to be everything that everyone wants. I'm seeing the same reaction from everyone. Everyone I have seen so far express an opinion about this trailer seems to agree. It's perfect. It's perfect. It is everything it should be. Everything in every category. And that is so ridiculously exciting. And we even got a release date, and it's only 5 months away. We're gonna blink, and then we're gonna be playing Zelda, and then we're gonna do like 2/3 of a blink. Like it's, you blink, and then like you still have to go through the motion of finishing the blink, completing your blink animation, but you're gonna be able to tell that like, oh no, it was there before you even opened your eyes at the end of the blink. We're gonna be playing this game. We have a solid release date, not a release window, not a vague 2025. Nah, this year, 5 months, we will be playing this incredible new Mario and Luigi game. This game that was just one more wonderful surprise in a Nintendo Direct stuffed to the gills with the most wonderful surprises. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be here blinking. I'm just gonna start blinking and not stop until I'm playing Mario and Luigi Brothership.